Hello. Hi, it's me, Sophie. I'm here for Facebook Live. I have got a tiny baby, but he will hopefully not distract me too much. Thank you for sending questions.
Yes, I'm here with Sophie. I have questions to ask you.
This is Chris, everybody.
Please send in your questions, everybody, underneath here. Let us begin, Sophie. Well, first of all, happy release day.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about the album finally being out there?
Really happy, actually, and very relaxed. It's a very different kind of thing, releasing a greatest hits and something that's, songs people are already familiar with. It doesn't have the same trepidation that you get when it's brand new material. So, yeah, I feel much more chilled.
And the response has been great.
It has, actually. Been really lovely, and it's just so nice to have it out in the world and people being able to tell me what they think of it.
Indeed, and so far they seem to like it a lot, which is good. Right, let's get on to some questions, shall we?
Yes, please.
Darren asked earlier if you would consider releasing instrumental versions of the orchestral tracks.
Actually, yes, Darren, I would be interested in that. I suggested that right at the beginning, but there's a sort of mixed reaction about whether or not that would be something people would want. But I can definitely look into that. It could maybe be a sort of free download or something if you've already got the album. Yeah, I can definitely look into that.
That's a nice idea, because they do sound amazing.
I think they sound better without me warbling on top, but that's personal opinion.
Bit harsh. Steve would like to know if you'd ever release Read My Lips on vinyl.
Well, actually, I think it's so nice that vinyl's had such a resurgence, and I always wanted to do vinyl, but it just wasn't that trendy sort of back in the early noughties. Well, certainly not for a pop act like me. So, I don't know, I'd have to talk to Universal about that. It's not really my jurisdiction, but...
okay, but you like having your albums on vinyl now?
I love it, yeah. Wanderlust is the first album I ever released on vinyl. It took starting my own label to make girls to do it, but yeah. Okay,
next question. I'm trying to look at they're coming in very quickly.
Okay.
Can you sing a little Murder on the Dance Floor?
It's little one, it's murder on the dance floor. No, it's murder on the dance floor. But you better not kill the groove, DJ. Gonna burn this goddamn house right down.
Yes, the answer is yes. She can.
Yes.
She can. That's very good. Next question. Judith asks, and I think quite a lot of people ask this question, would you ever consider a concert in Mexico?
Oh, Judith, I'd love to go to Mexico. Yes. I mean, I've filmed videos there. I made a Mexican-inspired album. So, yes, I really, really hope I can come and perform. I actually, I saw that the album's doing pretty well in Mexico on the iTunes, so I forwarded it to my promoter this morning, saying, come on, get me a gig.
Did you indeed?
I did.
Someone else asked, I saw the question flash by, there's a lot of questions coming in. How do you decide where you tour?
I kind of take my lead from people around me, really, because I trust that if get the right people on board to help me with where they think the venues will suit me, where they'll be able to sell the tickets. So yeah, at the moment I'm working with a company called Sembla who are doing all the stuff with me, the orchestral thing. So having some fresh ears and new insight might mean I can play some new venues. I mean, it's already happening really with the orchestral stuff. So hopefully it's just beginning.
How are you all set for the orchestral tour? Is that?
Yeah, I think I am actually. I mean, we had the big gig at the Royal Festival Hall, which for me was a really big deal, back in London in October last year, and because that went so well from our side of point of view, I'm just going to do more of the same, just take it on the road. So I can't wait. Actually, it's going to be great.
Good to hear. Nesta would like to know if being a mother has changed the way you make music.
Well, I've been a mum now for nearly 15 years, so it's hard for me to remember what it was like before in a way. But I think having a family, it's definitely made me a bit more fearless, actually. And as soon as a new baby comes along, it's like it's sort of like starting a new chapter. So I think it kind of makes you want to do something bold so that, from the next bit going on. I mean, from this guy's point of view, everything I've done already is like ancient history. So I might as well, start again. Yes. I think it pushes me.
Lee is wondering if the tour, a few people have asked this, do you think you'll film the tour for a DVD?
Oh, maybe. We did actually do a bit of filming at the Royal Festival Hall as well. Stop that, Mickey. And actually I would love to do it. We're doing the biggest night of the tour on the next run, I think, is in November at the London Palladium, so that'd be a good place to film. Yeah, we'll look into that.
That's an amazing venue as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
German, I think it is German Vasquez, would like to know if you're going to make a dance album. And quite a lot of people have asked, what's next?
Yeah. There will be, I think I'd like to do another record with Ed Harcourt. We always sort of had it in our heads that we'd do 3, and that doesn't count as the song Diaries because it was just production, so 3 original albums together. So I think, yeah, one more, and we've got a couple of ideas, and it will be a bit more dancey, I think. I still have a tendency to go from one extreme to another, so now that I've done a full album with an orchestra, I think the next one might be no live strings at all, just no orchestration like that at all, just do something completely different, maybe a bit more electro or something.
Yes. Next question, Tadaki from Japan. People really are watching this from everywhere. It's amazing. What is your favourite of the singles from the Song Diaries? And which is your favourite video of the songs on the Song Diaries?
Oh, well, so my favourite video, I suppose, you mean my solo videos that I've made to date?
So, yeah. Because this is essentially greatest hits. This is time to look back at the hits.
I'm still really fond of Murder on the Dance Floor. Just because at that time when I made that, so that was 2002, 2001, being in a pop artist, most music videos were like being in a club with a load of models pretending to be your mates and high-fiving and being all sort of smiley. And it just felt really fun to be a completely horrible villain in the video and try and get people out of competition and dope them and make them break their legs and all sorts of nasty activities. So I quite enjoy being a baddie. What was the other question from?
I guess favourite song from the Song Diaries, or
a few. I mean, I like the songs that have gone under a massive sort of change in their feel. So Heartbreak, I love because it's brought out all the drama of the song. It's so big and bold and dark, and I really love Not Giving Up because that started life as a trance single and now is this very romantic song and much more intimate. So the ones that have gone from one side to the other is always quite exciting.
That's good to hear.
I'm talking really fast, so I want to get through as many questions.
Yeah, you're doing good. Next question, I'm trying to read them all, there's blooming millions of them. Sam asks if those are Christmas decorations in your mirror.
Oh golly, probably. This is my mum's house, actually. We're filming in my mum's house because my house is too noisy because it's filled with children.
And Sam asks the very good question.
It probably is Christmas decorations.
How about a Christmas album? So it's a good segue there from Sam, I think.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I would like to do a dance Christmas record, like a properly, like really heavy. But I don't think you've got anything contemporary dance record that's a Christmas song.
No.
I remember once suggesting that to Calvin Harris, and he looked at me quizzically, but definitely not in a sort of enthusiastic way. I think he thought I was mad.
Really?
And they probably are Christmas decorations because my mum's like me, and every time we put up all the decorations for Christmas, at least one thing gets left behind. And that there's a bauble or two there. Oh, hello. And a little tiny shoe.
Little tiny shoe. Your mum's house has amazing things in it.
It doesn't look. This is an original Read My Lips sticker from my first album that got stuck up there probably by my little brother and just stayed.
Good.
Yeah, it's like 18 years old or whatever.
Still supporting. Matthew asks which current singers you admire and take inspiration from. Or I guess just music generally. Is there anything you're particularly into at the moment?
I'm really excited about the new Vampire Weekend album coming out because I love them and I love the single, the Harmony Hall single that's being played on the radio at the moment. I always sing along to that. But sadly, with all other new music, I've turned into a bit of an old woman where I hear stuff and I like it and I can never remember what it is. And I have to keep asking Richard what things are. I don't know what's wrong with me. My short-term memory for remembering new music stuff is lame. But I do like lots of new things. Singers. What do you say? What singers?
Singers? Any particular singers that you particularly like?
I suppose it's just all the classics, really, like Karen Carpenter's voice, Aretha Franklin's voice. Yeah. Just people who are able to tell stories. I grew up listening to Bjork and PJ Harvey and Debbie Harry. So many. All the really obvious ones, because it tends to be that if you're that brilliant, that's why they've done so well, really.
Fair enough.
That's a pathetic way of answering that question.
No, I think that was a good answer. Not at all. Darren wonders if you've thought about doing any covers on the Song Diaries.
Well, there is a cover. I've done a cover of Love Is You.
Of course, there is a cover.
And you're right, cheeky. And my first single, Take Me Home, is a cover. But there's so many songs on there. I thought putting extra songs in on top of those was probably maybe using up people's patience a little bit.
Fair enough.
Maybe in the future one day.
What about the concerts? Could you do something?
Well, we do actually. So the concerts are kind of split in two. The first half is purely orchestral, and then the band come out and we do full-on disco with using all the orchestra with the band as well. So it turns into sort of Paradise Garage 1977 feel. And with that, we've done a few, like a disco medley with a few kind of classics in there, which is so fun to sing. Yeah.
It is very good.
Yeah.
Gary asks two questions. Do you have any interest in acting? Have you done much acting?
when I was a teenager, I thought that's what I would do for a living. I was really into it and did the National Youth Theatre and things like that.
Okay.
It kind of fell by the wayside, and I've got a feeling I wasn't very good at it as well, actually. I feel like you get to play enough parts when you sing anyway, so I don't know if I'll do it.
And Gary's follow-on question, I'm sure that's not true, I'm sure you're very good at acting.
Thanks, Chris.
Gary's follow-on question is, what's your favourite TV show at the moment?
Oh, what have I been watching? I've been watching things like The Great British Sewing Bee and stuff like cosy, comforting telly like that.
Fair enough.
When it comes to really my best sort of things of like the last little while, I don't think I've ever been able to beat series like Twin Peaks and Breaking Bad. I think they're still up there as two of like the best things I've ever seen on telly.
Absolutely. Silvana says, as you were using an orchestra, do you like classical music? Is classical music something you listen to?
That's a nice question, actually. Not as much as I think I sort of should. I always feel like listening to classical music is so good for me.
Yeah.
Or good for the soul. No, I don't listen to as much as I would like. I feel like my knowledge of classical music is really teeny tiny, actually.
Okay, so
I need to build on
recommendations below,
Yeah,
please.
exactly.
Anyone's got some classical tips? Lee, good question. What's your favourite ABBA song?
Oh, it's the name of the game, definitely.
Okay. Why?
Oh, I just love the journey that it does with the melody and the chorus. It's got so many little corners to it. Although I also love the song The Visitors.
Okay.
I love that song. The build in it is really exciting.
Yeah. Oleg asks, will you come to Russia with the orchestra? Obviously, you have a lot of fans in Russia and they want to know if there's any chance they'll get to hear.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back to Russia.
Do you think you can do the orchestral tour
I would
there?
love to do that. Yeah, I would properly love to do
You
that.
could hire a local orchestra. They've
Exactly.
got good orchestras in
Exactly.
Russia.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. And yeah, I would really like that.
Watch that space. Robbie asks if you're doing any more DJ nights with your husband.
There's a couple of things in the diary.
Quite a few people have asked that question.
Really?
There's demand there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, Richard and I kind of tend to DJ when we're not doing our other day jobs, but yeah, we really enjoy it. And I think actually it's probably the DJing that was to credit for me sort of getting back into disco and all that kind of thing, really, because you end up playing these songs loud and just you get the euphoria from it again. So I think it's sort of been intrinsic. It sort of ended up influencing what I got up to, I think.
Makes sense. Keith wonders if you've got any plans for St Patrick's Day, which is on Sunday. Yeah.
So this weekend we've got my stepdad's birthday, so we're having a big family get together actually back at my mum's house on Sunday. And I'm sure, as my husband is in attendance, that there will be Guinness. It'll definitely play a part. And actually, I did it on those ancestry things, and I'm a third Irish, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
So there you go.
Who knew? So you've got to celebrate.
Yes, exactly.
Douglas asks if your kids are musical and whether there's a chance for a family album.
Family album. If my teenage son was here, he would give you a withering look for that question, I'm sure. They are interested in music. They do love it. But then I don't know if many children that don't respond to music. I always think that it's such a sort of instinctive thing when you're small. My eldest, though, he's interested in maybe DJing and production and songwriting. So, yeah, who knows? I'd be surprised if none of them are in a band at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not together, though.
Question from Kaushik, which I guess a lot of people have wondered this. Is Mickey named after the Tony Basil song?
It's definitely part of it, actually. Mickey was one of my favourite songs when I was little, and still the song I said played at my funeral. Deeply appropriate, right? I'm sure.
Wow.
So yeah, I think when I told my dad that he was called Mickey, my dad said, "I'm surprised it took you this long to call your kid Mickey." Right? So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to
Christian asks if you have another question I've never heard your answer to. Do you have a favourite soccer team?
Oh no, I'm not very interested in football really. No. I've started playing the dodgeball team though.
How's that going?
It's really hard. Yeah, it's about 14 of us and we're all friends, and when we first got together we basically designed the logo, then all got the vests, and then thirdly we learned how to play dodgeball.
Wow.
And now we're in the league, we're 3 matches in and we've won 2, lost 1, and we're now starting to talk tactics.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's getting more serious.
What kind of a player are you?
Rubbish. I'm not bad at dodging. I'm fairly quick at getting to the balls at the beginning, but it turns out I'm really bad at throwing.
Okay.
So we're now saying that maybe we should actually delegate and get to the balls and then pass to the 3 people that are good at throwing, rather than panicking and feeling like you've got to throw. Because then you just get out when they catch it. Have you ever played dodgeball?
I haven't. I'd like to.
Yeah, it's fun.
If you need a spare player, I am so in. I felt really jealous when I saw your
Yeah?
outfits. And
Cool.
I'd love to.
Yeah, come and do it.
I am down. Jason would like to know your favourite place to gig. So I want country, city, and venue.
Well, I'm sorry. Is it Jason, right?
Yeah.
Jason, I'm sorry. I'm really boring because I love playing in London because I like being able to get to and from the venue very easily. And my favourite venue in London is Shepherd's Bush Empire, which is handily it's about sort of 15-20 minutes from my house, and it's just the perfect size between. You be quiet. Between a big gig and a small gig, so basically you can kind of get the drama of having lots of people, but you can have the intimacy of the crowd and the people on stage really creating what kind of night it is. And I think it's got the right balance of those two things. So it always feels like an event, but you know, when I'm performing, I feel like I can look at everybody in the room.
Yeah. What's the best gig you've seen at Shepherd's Bush Empire?
Oh, so I feel like I haven't really seen many bad ones.
The Feeling have done some great gigs.
The Feeling have had some awesome ones. Actually, the one they did last November was incredible. What else? I've seen Feist play there once. That was great. I've seen, oh golly, I saw a really good Mark Ronson gig there once. I've seen Bjork play there. That was great. I've seen the Radiohead thing there actually. Yeah, so loads of good gigs there.
I saw that Radiohead
gig. The Feeling's probably up there. Did you?
Does your husband, asks Ian, not get a little jealous when you ask the audience who wants to take you home?
He really doesn't actually. I think I don't want to get too sort of serious with it, but I think you're with the right person if they actually encourage you to be bold and be fun on stage. And I used to have a boyfriend that used to be a lot more kind of dictatorial about how I spoke and what I'd wear.
Right.
And as soon as I went out with Richard and he'd say, that looks great, get out there, you realise that's actually what it is to really, really love someone, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. Greg wonders if you'd ever go on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, because he thinks you'd win.
Would I win? I would be quite determined about the eating stuff thing. I'm not too squeamish and I want to get over that. But then I am very jumpy. I don't really like spiders. Richard always jokes he would do it. I don't want to do it, but I think it'd be quite funny for Richard to do it.
Ever been asked? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get asked to do all those reality shows. I think there's a lot of those shows that think, they're offering you a lifeline back into the limelight, the career.
Well, I mean, the one that you did, the Strictly, was amazing, and it was a positive experience. And
yeah, I so nearly didn't do that as well. I was so unsure about it, and I'd said no to them for years, but it was great. But I don't know. Do you know anyone that's done I'm a Celebrity?
No.
No.
Like hard
People
work.
do say that it's wonderful, don't they?
Okay.
Most people, they seem to love it.
Positive experience.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of the other people. I don't like the idea of being away from my family.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and not being able to call them.
Lots of people asking if you thought about doing any mariachi versions of your songs. I think because you did that one in the bar.
I did, yeah. Oh, I would love to do a mariachi version. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of up for any of those sorts of things, really. And singing with the mariachi band, the little tiny clip that we've got that went on YouTube, was actually a very last minute thing, and we only organised booking the mariachi band that day, and then I had to text Ed I was in Puerto Vallarta, and I had to text him saying what are all the chords so that the mariachi band could learn it. They learned it in about 30 minutes, and then we performed it.
They're amazing.
They're really, they looked incredible as well, but we didn't have the proper sound system or anything like that. I'd love to do it properly. Yeah. So yes, I'd love to.
Let's do it.
Oh, it'd be so fun.
What's your drink of choice after a gig? Asks Connor.
Well, if I was having a cocktail and the options were endless, margarita. But in real life, where there is no barman and you're just stuck with the rider, it's normally a glass of white wine.
Fair enough. Connor also asks what your favourite bar in London is. Connor's questions are alcohol themed.
Yeah, I like it, Connor. Favourite bar? Well, in terms of a look, I like the look of places like Jay Sheiky's, which is actually a seafood restaurant where you can have oysters and lobster and chips. But when you walk in, it's got one of those really beautiful sort of old-fashioned 30s looking bars with the sort of golden lights and silver and nice old wood seats, and it just looks like kind of glamorous, old school glamour. I don't know. I don't go to many cocktail bars these days. I wonder why.
Yes, indeed.
What's a cocktail?
How do you get away from things and relax? Asks Mark. Richard has his flying, but what's your escape?
Cue baby crying. Well, I guess my escape is it's actually the performing, probably. I think gigs, and I think you can't see him if he's this side. I need to feed my baby, so I think it's up and down here.
I think we're safe.
No one can see anything. That's good. Distract you.
I'll tip it up just in case,
thank
just
you.
to preserve any modesty needed.
Gonna, literally cry. Yeah. Well, actually, I think dancing, being with my friends, being with my family, cooking. There's loads of things I do sort of regularly just to give myself a bit of space. But I don't really get as much of that sort of time as I maybe will do when I'm older.
Do you like flying with Richard?
It's alright. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, but I'm not like an enthusiast or anything. I'm really happy for him.
Is it scary? I always imagine it's a little bit scary.
Nah, the first time we went up in the plane together, I was a bit scared because it's a really small plane and it's a 4-seater. So it's a bit like flying in a Mini. And I suddenly had that sensation of we're up in the air and the only thing I know for sure is that we will come down one way or another, but I just don't know if it'll be safely or not.
Right.
So that was a bit scary. But ever since then, no. Actually, he's really good at it, and I think in a lot of ways it's probably relaxed me even more about flying.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it, you don't feel as fearful.
Drew asks, what was the biggest wow moment when making the song Diaries?
Oh, there are a few actually, but I think nothing beats the first time you hear a big string section or people playing songs, especially when they're reinvented. So I think it's probably day one of recording, really. Just being in Rack Studios, which was the same studios where I'd recorded the first ever single with the audience. So there was a nice sort of serendipity with that. Being with Ed and Richard and Amy and all the girls recording and just thinking, we're off. It was a little bit like in Grand Designs when they knock down the house and then they build the kitchen and then they realise that actually now that the kitchen is starting to take shape, they now need to actually do much more and they're going to go over budget and it's going to be bigger and bolder. It's a bit like that. So it's a bit scary but also really exciting.
Nick asks if you still get nervous before you sing?
Not really, actually. I get excited and focused and quite adrenalised, but no, not nervous.
When was the last time you do remember being nervous? Strictly?
Oh golly, I was petrified in Strictly. Yeah, that was really nerve-wracking. Yeah. But I think for gigs, I mean, I suppose I was a bit like butterflies in my tummy before I did the Royal Festival Hall because I'd only sung with the orchestra in the sound check. It was very focused. It was quite a different style of gig. It's very exposed when you sing just with an orchestra. But even then, I don't want to ruin it by being nervous, really. I don't want to ruin the experience. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't get like the proper nerves. I don't ever feel like I don't want to do it kind of nerves.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Pete has asked, a few people have asked this, if you could duet with anyone, dead or alive, who would you duet with?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Well, I suppose someone like Bowie would have been amazing. Like you'd never turn that down. I think. I don't know what it would sound like, but it, But who else? Maybe someone from like another era, like a really classic, like a sort of, like a kind of Frank Sinatra. Yeah. Something just that a real like money can't buy sort of experience of just, something like that would be pretty exotic. Or actually, I'd be really happy with Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Dora asks, winter or summer?
Summer. Dora.
No question,
please.
You went straight in there.
Yeah, I like the sunshine.
Next question. Are you planning to meet the fans again after the concerts, like previous ones? Are you thinking you're going to be able to do signings and photos and that sort of thing?
I don't know is the honest answer because when I did the last couple of tours and did all the signings, sometimes the signings would take as long as the gigs. Right. And actually I noticed that it was having a really detrimental effect on my voice. Because you've just sung, so you're already kind of warmed up and a bit vulnerable.
Right.
And then you'd be in quite a noisy foyer, trying to talk to people like this and chatting to people and signing things. And I was getting really hoarse. And I have to be really careful when I do the orchestral stuff. So I might have to be a bit sensible. I'd love to still say hi to people, but I don't know if I'll do it in such a sort of structured way. Because sometimes it would take like an hour and a half.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's quite tiring.
Read any good books recently? Asks Christian.
I was reading, I haven't finished it, but I'm reading a book called, what's it called? It's something like, it's got cut in the title. It's basically a history of surgery. Oh, wow. So it's non-fiction, and that's really good. What else have I read recently? I read Little Fires Everywhere by, what's her name? I want to say Celia. It's you'll be able to look it up. Yeah. But it's a really good book. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, Little Fires Everywhere. That's definitely what it's called.
Stephen saw you playing in Dublin with George Michael, supports, and asks what sort of memories you've got of, because that was an amazing tour to be on.
It was, although I always feel I have to really disappoint people because I didn't actually meet him.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it was great. I mean, touring's always great, and I loved watching him perform. He was sounded, and his voice was just incredible.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any stories of like us
Because you
like
didn't
backstage
meet him.
playing cards. or
Which
anything.
is often the way, as I understand, like headliners.
It's only happened to me with that one tour though. It's a bit
Ah,
sad, but I
okay.
think it was just because of the timings.
Right,
and
because some artists just arrive for the gig, leave straight
exactly
after.
that. Exactly that. I know it happens to the Feeling when they tour with Bon Jovi as well.
Right.
Sometimes you just don't meet them, but
enough.
I would like to have done. It would have been nice.
Yes, indeed. Rebecca asks for a shout out for her birthday, as it's her birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday, Rebecca!
Yes, indeed. She's coming to see you play at the Bridgewater Hall.
Oh,
As
lovely.
all people should,
Thank you.
if they're in the area. Drew asks if you have a favourite bedtime snack. Cheeky bedtime snack. So I'm like, this is a slightly guilty bedtime snack.
Got it, yeah. Well, chocolate. I'm really trying to stop eating quite so much chocolate because I normally have supper and then I just have this immediate like Pavlovian like right now chocolate.
Right.
So chocolate's always good. But if you're talking about other snacks, a cheeky one. I love gherkins, like fish and chip shop gherkins.
Oh, really?
I'll happily have that as a snack.
Wow.
They're yummy. Might get one on the way home.
I wouldn't have guessed that was going to be your answer.
Full of surprises.
Yeah, exactly. Ben asks if there's a style of music you haven't explored that you would like to explore in a future recording.
I don't know. Yeah, I think, well, there's definitely things. I think the way I normally work is quite reactive. So if I go in one direction, I tend to go the other way. So I think
Right.
it's more that I just know that the next thing will be different again to orchestral. But
It must
it's
be
not-
heartening that your fans seem happy to go with you on these
Oh,
sonic
it's
journeys.
amazing.
'Cause
Yeah,
you
I
don't
love
have.
it.
You're not. You. I guess when you made Wanderlust, you weren't sure.
No.
It was a big swerve.
Massively. No, Wanderlust is like, it was almost like releasing a first album again, really. It was like starting again and, you know, just something completely different and unexpected. And it really taught me a massive lesson as well about not underestimating the people that want to listen to you or buy your records, actually, because I think you tend to almost think in a different part of your brain, like you're trying to be analytical and you'll say, oh, well, I'm this kind of artist, so therefore I must make this kind of music. But, you know, most people have got lots of different genres sat next to each other on the shelf or sat next to each other in their lists of, you know, the playlist. So I don't think you should underestimate people and their ability to, you know, to listen to different styles from the same artist, actually. So it's more about if it's any good or not, isn't it?
Yeah. So yes, and never say no to anything.
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
Bring on the death metal album.
Unlikely, but yes.
Richard asks, what song are you most proud of?
Well, in terms of its sort of longevity, I guess something like Murder, because it's just the song that I suppose most people know me for, and that's a lovely feeling if you've got a song people have taken under their wing and it's sort of it's gone to countries I'll never go to.
Yeah.
It's had its own journey, but in a more personal way, I think it's Youngblood, because it was probably the most sort of vulnerable I've ever been when I've written a song in terms of writing something personal, and it hasn't got there's no kind of demeanour that you have to take on. There's no caricature you have to play when you're singing it. It's quite a pure, heartfelt thing, really.
Yeah.
And it's actually really nice for me to have a song in the set that has that mood, because I've never really even sung songs like that much.
And it's always a lovely moment in the show. People really, again, they really listen. Your crowd's
Yeah,
attentive crowd.
that's really lovely. That's special.
Terry says he's listened to the album 3 times today.
Whoa, well done, Terry.
Helping your
18
streaming-
songs as
your
well, isn't
streaming
it?
numbers. That's 54 songs Terry's listened to. That's good going. He says it's fantastic, well done, and asks what's next. Do you have a plan?
I do, but I don't really. The reason I'm not being a bit sort of coy about sharing it is because I'll probably start from here and end up like over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that Ed and I have been talking about doing something maybe a little bit more proggy and a little bit more electro. We work well. We've got a bit of a landscape, so there is a sort of a lilt to that. But I don't really want to share any more until we're getting a bit more involved with the songwriting, and nothing's really started yet. I've just started writing ideas down now, so. I also have to wait till Ed's around to do another album with me.
That's fair. Greg says the UK needs to win the Eurovision Song Contest again one day. Would you ever consider representing the UK in the Eurovision?
I think I would be thrown to the lions. Honestly, I don't think there's any way that I can do any better than anyone else that's doing it. I think that, especially in light of our political, backdrop at the moment, we're not going to be getting into the double figures for a little while.
It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while.
We're not making ourselves more popular.
But it does look. It looks fun.
I think Eurovision's great. I love watching it, and actually, it's become a little bit less sort of funny in the last few years. You've got some really proper quality pop records, and the production quality and like some of the ways they put on the show is really great.
Because you did that indie Eurovision Song Contest, didn't you?
Yeah, with
years
the audience.
Ago. Did you win?
Yeah. I think we did, actually.
I think you won.
Yeah, I think we won.
A long time ago.
Yeah, really long time ago.
Eurovision winner.
That was actually at Shepherd's Bush Empire.
No way.
Yeah.
How about that? There you go. Lots of people asking if you will come and play in America, Poland, France, Mexico. International touring.
As a performer, I'm happy to go wherever anyone wants me. I love hopping on a plane and singing for people. I'm sort of always just receptive to what comes my way with that. I can go back and write a list of all the places you've said and forward them to the powers that be, but I don't actually literally book my own tours.
No.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there's certainly a lot of demand.
Well, I have to take a little bit of guidance, otherwise there's a small chance that I turn up and the gig is literally just whoever it is that asked the question and me.
Yeah.
So
we
do need strength in numbers. So it's going to be loads of fun, but we need strength in numbers.
Financially not as viable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are there any music videos planned for the Song Diaries era?
I don't know really. I feel with the nature of this record, it might not be super important that there's always videos. I think you need something that can accompany it on.
Yeah.
People look at clips, but an actual video. I might save my best ideas for the original material on the next record.
Are you writing? Do you write?
I've just started putting some things down, little ideas and stuff, but I haven't literally sat down at the piano and started making music with the new one yet, not really.
Okay, so what idea, you just write in a notebook? Or
yeah, exactly, yeah, I've just got like little nuggets and a few books I bought to kind of look at some ideas for inspiration and that kind of thing. Right. But yeah, and a little idea. It's like a new file. It's like getting a new box file or something.
Yes.
And you open it, and at the moment there's like a few sheets of paper in, but it'll start to build.
Exciting times. Well, I think that's probably about enough for us. We've done more than we said we would, so I think we can probably wrap up, and you can get back to your Friday evening with baby. And
well, thank you so much. It's been really nice actually, and I'm relieved because I always think maybe it's just going to be us pretending people ask questions.
No, these are real questions.
These are real
I haven't
questions.
just made all these.
No, I know. That's good.
Brilliant. Well, thank you.
Have a lovely
for taking
weekend,
the time.
everybody, and thank you for your support with the record. It's really nice for me.